I love that. For a reason, I brought to her here to the Mindset Pulse, just to share a bit of the insight of her approach to this holistic coaching. Okay, so she's gonna talk about the art of inner exercise, which I'm intrigued as well, and I want to learn more about it. So the screen is all of yours now. Let me just give you kind of like the access to it fully,
Thank
so then we
you.
can crack on.
Hi,
Let me
Kirsty.
just see.
Hello, guys.
Hey, you all right?
So Lexi, give it a try now
Here
if you
we
can have
go.
access to it.
Yeah, here we go. Right. Can you all
Perfect.
see that? Let me
Yeah.
get it up properly.
Nice. I'm really
Here we
excited for it.
go. Here we go. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the importance of Innercise. So I'm guessing you all know what exercise is, or you should know what exercise is, or your coach is going to be well mad. So today we're going to talk about Innercise. So most importantly, about your mindset and your approach to dealing with exercise and nutrition, because I think we're always taught about how to exercise, but maybe not about the mindset changes that we can make to make sure that we achieve our goals, they are more consistent, and we just, ultimately lead a healthier lifestyle. So I'm just going to quickly talk about what holistic coaching is, because you might be like, what the hell is that? But basically, it's a type of personal development which focuses on the mind, body, and soul. Now, you don't have to be super spiritual to get into a holistic coaching. It's just about taking your goals to another level, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. And it's just about recognizing that everybody is unique and you all have your own set values, beliefs, and goals. And it's about empowering individuals to tap into their full potential and create meaningful and fulfilling lives. That's ultimately what holistic coaching does. So I'm going to jump straight in with, why do you exercise? So if you can tell me, why do you exercise? You can put it in the chat, or you can just chat to me, like unmute yourself, whatever. You like it? Okay. Why do you like it? Tell me why. You exercise for your mental health. Brilliant.
Lexi, Cornell, Chantel, Judah as well.
Okay, so it sounds great. It sounds like you enjoy it, because you love smashing someone's ego in competition. Yes, I love that. For better health. These are all really, really amazing. Mental health to become a weapon. Yes, I love that. I absolutely love that. And these are really, really brilliant. These are really, really brilliant ways to show that you love exercise and why you love exercise. And it's probably why you're on this program. Yeah, you realize that mindset is really, really important. And you might have had experiences before where you've tried exercise programs, you've tried dieting programs, and they failed because you've not really addressed the mindset side of things. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. I love the reasons why you exercise. So I'm just going to move on to the next slide. I'm going to just bore you with a bit of my story, and hopefully some of it will resonate with you guys. And yeah, if it doesn't, hopefully you'll take something away from it. But basically, if you were the fat kid in school, let me know in the comments, like let me know in the chat, put an emoji, put a little yes in there. I was the fat kid. Nobody taught me about exercise. Nobody taught me about nutrition. And I found comfort eating something that was just something I did as a child. It was the only thing I could really find some comfort in. Also, I was a 90s baby, so I don't know if this resonates with the guys in the group. Oh God, you guys look so young as well. So if it doesn't apply to you, then don't worry. But basically, when I grew up, this was basically my childhood. You must have heard this saying before. Kate Moss, that lovely, beautiful woman in the middle, said, "Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels." So imagine that just in the media. I used to watch America's Next Top Model, like I was obsessed with it, where these very beautiful women with the most ideal figures were just torn down by Tyra Banks. And I was also surrounded by these magazines where if you just looked off in a photo of like as a celebrity, you would be named and shamed in these for cellulite, for stretch marks, for all of this stuff that's just part of a normal body. So this is what I grew up in. So how was I ever going to have a positive body image? As for guys, I definitely feel like there was some of this back in around the 90s and 2000s, but for me, like, my observation, obviously I'm a woman, so I can only talk from a woman's perspective, but for guys, I feel like the pressure is more lately. Like in the last sort of couple of years, there is definitely a pressure for guys to look a particular way, to be in, you know, that high value man that gets banded around a lot, which includes looking a certain way, having a particular amount of money, things like that. So I think that all impacts on us and how we develop as people, and also our values and our beliefs. So we'll go back to my story a little bit now, where I just talk about how I always used to approach exercise from a place of punishment. And if you haven't noticed, as humans, we don't really like to punish ourselves. So, you know, when you eat in something that makes you feel guilty, that's when you start punishing yourself by going to the gym. You're going to the gym from a place of punishment. And what I just want to really highlight as well is that it's so hard to prioritize your fitness journey, when you're in a unhappy situation. So for example, I was in an unhappy relationship. I was in a relationship for 6 years. Towards the end, I was super happy, defaulted into comfort eating. I didn't like my job. I didn't like my relationship. So it was incredibly hard for me to prioritize being fit and healthy, because to be honest, the best part of my day was coming home and stuffing my face. And I know that sounds really sad, but I think it's actually a real modern day problem. So I just want to raise that and just say that, yeah, that's something I personally struggled with. And I remember when I was sat in the gym, I was like, oh my God, why have you gained all this weight? Like, why have you let yourself get to a size 20? Because I was a size 20. And I was like, what happened to you? And I was just realizing, like, well, you're punishing yourself through exercise. So that means your gym is inconsistent. You're unhappy with your life. So that's why you eat shit all the time. So there are other things I needed to do in order to create space to prioritize my health. And I did that. And then when I started to make that mindset shift from, I need to focus on my health and I need to focus on food that nourishes my body, this was such a game changer for me. An absolute game changer, because this allowed me just to be like, okay, well, I'm not going to punish myself if I eat a bar of chocolate, but I'm just going to make sure my next meal is more nourishing and I'm getting the vitamins in that I need. I'm eating the vegetables that I need, all of these types of things. And that's where, like, this has allowed me consistency. So I may not always be on point with my food, but I always show up to the gym, because like you guys said, it's really good for your mental health. It makes you feel good. Also, eating good food makes you feel good as well. So I've managed to sustain that by shifting my mindset from, you need to lose weight, you're not skinny enough, your life will get better when you're skinnier, or you're more bulky, or you look a particular way, into, I'm doing this for me and my health and everything good that comes along with it. And as a side effect, I went from a size 20 to a size 14. I'm in a situation now where I'm not prioritizing weight loss or things like that, because I've got other things that I'm dealing with, and that's fine. And I will get back to it when it's time to, but I'm still showing up to the gym every single week. So at least when I'm comfort eating, I'm staying the same weight. I'm not gaining loads of weight, when historically I would just gain all that weight back. And I think as well, something that was a huge turning point for me was finding something I was passionate about. So I absolutely love dance. And I remember my first dance class, I was shit, like so shit. Like, I remember going in and just being like, oh my God, this is so out of my comfort zone. What the hell am I doing? How am I even going to face coming back next week? But, you know, if you walked in a class and we did amazing on the first opportunity, then it wouldn't be any fun in the journey. And this is what this is, isn't it? Your health is a journey. So it's about getting good at something. It's about prioritizing those personal bests, or doing something that's out of your comfort zone, because that's where you grow and that's where you gain your confidence and your self-esteem. Okay. So that, yeah, again, that's helped with consistency. I'm always dancing. I love it. I do twerk classes as well. So maybe not for you guys, because guys are a bit like, yeah, twerk classes are back up and running from February, and I'm doing them weekly. So if you do fancy coming and shaking your bum, you're more than welcome. You're gonna have to fly back to Bristol for that one though, maybe. So yeah, ultimately the result was that I've been able to maintain this lifestyle effortlessly because of the mindset change. So that's plenty about me. So if we talk about what can get in the way of our journey, so what can get in the way of us achieving our fitness goals. If you want to unmute yourself or pop it in the chat, whatever you're comfortable doing.
Stress.
Yes, stress. It's really, really hard. And I always think with stress, when you start saying yes to other people, you start saying no to yourself. That's ultimately, because stress is the overwhelming feeling, and just, yeah, you can't say yes to everybody. And when you start saying yes to everything or other people, it comes a time where you have to say no to prioritize yourself. I know, like, stress at work as well is a particular one where it's very hard to escape. But I think you become stressed at work when you're emotionally invested in your job. But I'm very, like, black and white when it comes to work, because I'm like, if God forbid you got hit by a bus tomorrow, they replace you. So there's no need to really carry that stress through your life, because you don't get paid enough, because it's impacting you, it's impacting your mental health. You don't get paid enough, because that isn't worth your health, that isn't worth anything. So with stress, I would definitely advise, like, from a holistic approach method, is maybe doing some journaling, or like focusing on your nervous system to try and bring that down. Because when we're stressed, like, we're constantly in our fight, flight, fall and freeze moment, and it's quite hard, because we're not supposed to live in that moment. Like, we have that in our body for a reason. And so when we're experiencing high levels of stress, we need to kind of bring that down. And that can be through, like, deep breathing, that can be through listening through music on YouTube. If you say, like, ways to calm nervous system, loads and stuff will come up on YouTube about music, where you can just lay down, and it just feels nice. So I know I sound a bit nuts, but literally just try it. Okay, just try and bring that nervous system down, especially if you struggle with sleep as well. It could mean that your nervous system is overactive. Okay, and obviously we know good night's sleep means that we will have an epic training day the next day, so it's always good to get your sleep in. And demotivation, cravings, and hesitation. Okay, cravings, they don't last long. It's about filling yourself with stuff that, I think it's difficult as well, because, like, obviously men, you go through your hormonal cycle in a day. So I think figure out what that craving is. Is it something sweet? Is it something savory? Why do you want it? Have you eaten enough? Have you, like, I find that my cravings are less when I'm eating more regularly. And yeah, so when I'm eating more regularly, I'm just, I'm much better with my cravings. Why have you got all those eggs? The snacks are ready to go. So yeah, that's a really good shout, actually. Having ready-made snacks to just go as well is really good. Even if I'm not hungry, I still eat my snack or my next meal or whatever it is, just because I don't want to get to a place where I'm hungry and I start craving. Like earlier, I was like dead craving pizza because I was just starving. And in terms of demotivation, what is your why? Find out why you want to do this and attach emotion to it. Like, why do you want to do this? Like, why do you want to gain muscle? Why do you want to lose fat? Why are you pushing yourself at the gym? And that will help you feel motivated. And something that I use quite regular is visualization. So visualize yourself at that goal. Is it that personal best? Is it like that dress size? Whatever it is, just visualize yourself there. And how does it feel? Like, literally, how does it feel? Think about it, and you can come back to that moment and that feeling anytime that you start feeling demotivated, because that feeling of a sense of achievement, like, that will really help push you, I promise. And you can try it, and if you think it's a load of shit, then you can come back and tell me, all right? And if we talk about fear, okay, so this can go two ways: fear of failure or fear of success. Some people get worried that once they succeed, like, what happens then? You have like this lifelong goal of achieving something, but what happens when you're successful? And this is a question I would ask you. On the morning you wake up, where you're fully achieved, and you look in the mirror and you look and you say, wow, I've achieved it. How are you going to feel? I don't think you're going to feel fear. I think you're going to feel a sense of achievement, a sense of pride, a sense of, oh, wow, that's amazing that I've achieved that. And if it's a fear of failing, failure doesn't exist. Okay. Have you ever looked at somebody where, what a failure? what failure that person is. I doubt anybody has ever looked at somebody and said that. Failure is something that we project onto ourselves, and failure is just literally about learning. It's not about failing, because failure doesn't exist. Sorry to crush your dreams, but failure doesn't exist. You're just being hard on yourself for no reason. Balancing work and rest. Again, it's annoying that we have jobs, right? It's really annoying that we have jobs. I just want to sit around and just dance the whole time. But yeah, we absolutely can't do that. And balancing work and rest is about finding the routine that works for you. For me, getting up at 6 in the morning, dragging my ass to the gym, killing it, and then going and just being tired at work is much better, because I prioritize myself, my mental health, and everything else. And that puts me in a great mood for the day. It's about finding a routine that works for you, because you have a battery of like 100% in a day. Okay, you've slept, you've had a good night's sleep, you've got 100%. Work is going to take up like 60%, maybe even 80% of that battery. You've got that 20%. When are you most optimal at training? Is it in the morning? Can you get away with a lunchtime session? I don't know what your jobs are. If you're on a shift pattern, can you try and be more consistent at work with your shifts? Like, don't be afraid to ask for what you need. At the end of the day, your employer can only say no, but at least then you're having a benefit if they do say yes. I always think, yeah, I don't know your work situation, but find out that time that you're most optimal and use it, because working to gain your money and some form of like self-fulfillment and stuff is really important, but it's not as important as your health. Like, I'm on a rant about work, but yeah, it's nowhere near as important as your health. So thank you so much for your answers, guys. Those were really good. I hope that I was able to give a bit of insight about that. And now we are going to talk a little bit about limiting beliefs. So you guys might have heard of like limiting beliefs like bounded around, but limiting beliefs are probably the most dangerous beliefs that we have, because they sit just below the surface and we don't really know that they're there. So even though these are all very practical things that you've said about, like, you know, balancing work and rest and things like that, this is about your beliefs and your values, okay? And this is what we get into when we do some coaching. So limiting beliefs are thoughts or ideas that a person holds to be true about themselves, others, or the world. So this will restrict you from achieving your goals, experiencing success and happiness. So really common ones are, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I will never be successful, I'm not attractive enough. Yeah. And these, like, everybody has limiting beliefs. Nobody is special and has their, you know, has limiting beliefs by themselves. These affect all of us, and these sit below the surface. So if you're struggling to maybe feel motivated, are you struggling to stick to your diet, I would firstly advise you to think about the why you're doing this, but also, is there anything that you think maybe historically from your past, or maybe something that somebody has said to you previously that gets in the way, that maybe thinks that I'm not worthy of this, or I'll never be successful. And this isn't only applying to your fitness journey, these can affect any aspects of your life. Like if you're struggling to get a relationship, maybe you feel like you're not worthy or not good enough. If you feel like you're not going to level up at work, you might feel like I'll never be successful. And this is all formed from our experiences and our childhood, our adolescence, and experiences of trauma. And now trauma, like everybody talks about trauma like it's the worst thing in the world. It absolutely, like, it's not about if you have trauma, it's about when. And as human beings, we have that nervous system, we have that fight, flight, fawn, freeze mechanism for a reason. Through evolution, if we didn't need it, we would have got rid of it. So yeah, I think coming back to the limiting beliefs, it can be really hard to notice. So this is why it's really good to talk to other people about how you're feeling, and to maybe like revisit your past experiences as well. So for example, like when I was comfort eating around, you know, and just kind of feeling I'm not worthy of a good relationship, that was impacting me on my physical health, my mental health, and then yeah, it can really spiral out of control. But the best thing about it is once you know that they are there, you can change them. So how do we change them? First of all, we need to recognize they are there, which is really hard. So if you want to enlist the help of a coach, a counselor, a therapist, or if you want to talk about it with a friend or somebody that you trust, talk about it. Just be like, like, you know, there are feelings that come up for me when I start to think about why aren't I achieving this goal? Why am I not worthy about it? And I think challenge them. Why do you feel like that? Was it a particular incident that happened when you were a child? Is it a particular person said something to you that's just really rattled you and you're like, you know, or is it that bit of feedback which wasn't constructive but it's just stuck with you? I really invite you to kind of explore that within. Once we learn something, we have the ability to unlearn it and to rewire our brain. So for example, if we take an example of I'm not good enough, or no, let's go with I'm not worthy of achieving my fitness goals because I'll always look like this. This is just me. I'll never have a flat stomach or whatever it is. You can reframe it and say, I am worthy of that. And I know it just sounds like ridiculous just to say to yourself, I am worthy of it. But basically, rewiring your brain takes time. Using affirmations are the quickest way. So, and it doesn't matter like who you are, affirmations are the quickest way. If you tell yourself something enough, you'll believe it. Because if you can think about your interactions with people, when you get told something enough, you just start to believe it. So why can't you do that with yourself? You know, our brains are really cool things. And the next step is to take inspired action towards our goals. So taking action is one thing, is where you show up and you do it because you need to move to your next goal. But inspired action is really thinking about why you want to do something, and taking inspired action is literally what it says on the tin. When you're feeling inspired, do it. So when you're feeling inspired to go to the gym, hit the gym hard, even on the days where you're like, oh, I don't really feel good. Just get in the gym, just do it. When you're feeling inspired to do something, do it. Like if you feel inspired to bulk cook your meals, do it. Like in that moment, just maximize those feelings of inspiration. And as always, seek support. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to a professional, whatever. But changing your limiting beliefs can really open up your entire world, because you have to understand that everybody here in this virtual room, we experience life very, very differently. So my perspective of the world is going to be very different to every single one here. And that's okay. But it just means that any rules, regulations, restrictions you put on yourself, just in your mind, you can achieve anything you absolutely want to. You just have to believe it. And I know that sounds like cheesy and cliche, but literally, this is my invite to you to get out of your own way. So with all that being said, I've got to bring in my fluffy, holistic, fulfilling stuff. So here are my top tips on how to live a more fulfilling life. You can love yourself as you are now. Like you can just accept that I'm this way, and my fitness journey, my health journey is just going to make me even better. Like you don't have to come from a place of punishment. Push yourself out your comfort zone. Get confident. Raise that self-esteem. Do what you need to. Work on your limiting beliefs. Find out what they are and move them out the way, because they're the things that are holding you back from achieving your full potential. Be grateful for what you do have. This is something that everybody overlooks, but let me tell you, when you start being grateful for what you do have, you start focusing on the positives, and what you do in life, like what you focus on, will grow. If you're in a negative mindset, guess what? Negativity is going to grow. If you focus on the positive stuff, positivity is going to grow. And set goals that are realistic, work towards them, and when you achieve them, celebrate them. I think a good example is maybe in 2022 is a bit of a roller coaster for literally everybody. A roller coaster I couldn't wait to get off, to be quite honest. But in that, I completely forgot to celebrate the really good stuff. So when you hit that goal, that personal best, or that dress size, or even if it's just a pound down on the scale, like celebrate it. Just absolutely celebrate yourself. And with that, I've completely talked everybody's heads off because this is something I'm super passionate about. Do you guys have any questions for me? No, that's fine. That's fine if you don't have any questions. Obviously, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Send me an email. If there's stuff you want to pick up outside of this meeting, then just let me know.
Hey, Kirsty, just a quick question.
Yeah.
So I always like to find out how others start their day. I know that we all have our own, especially at the Mindstep family, we have our own like morning rituals. Do you have any morning rituals that you could share with us?
So I never look at my phone first thing in the morning. I find like that just, do I really want to look at what everybody else is doing? Do I want to start my day off comparing myself with everybody else? Absolutely not. So I get up in the morning and I make myself a cup of tea or coffee or whatever I feel like. When I try and do affirmations every day, because I'm not a perfect person. I am trying to rewire my brain. So I will always do affirmations in the car to work, or if I'm not driving to work, I will always do my affirmations when I'm doing a cup of coffee or something, because I think it's so important to prioritize that. I always have a shower and I really do visualize negativity just running off me. So I start off the day in a really positive day. I want it to bring me the best positive outcome for the day. And I always say to myself as well, like, something incredible is going to happen to me today. Like, just because that's the energy I want to bring in for the day. Something incredible is going to happen to me today. Just walk around my house a bit like a mad woman going, something incredible is going to happen to me today. But it literally does. Like the other week I had 4 free coffees, which like to me is incredible. I've just saved like, you know, a good 10-12 quid or something, and I was like, that's incredible. It's like appreciating those little things. Do you know what I mean?
Love
But
it.
yeah, I'd be really good. What do you guys do to start your morning?
Generally up, a little bit of stretching, breathing, have my coffee, kind of feel thankful. You know, I woke up. That's a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah.
And then
You're not that old.
Sorry?
You're not that old yet.
It's still a blessing. that we still wake up every morning is a blessing, no matter how old you are. So I'm always grateful for that. I like my music, sets me into the day. And then I think about, what do I need to do today? What would I like to do? And then run with it.
Lush, that's a really nice place to start off. Gratitude is such a good place to start. Like I said, what you focus on will grow. So yeah. What about the rest of you guys?
In my case, what I do normally, sometimes I play one of my favorite songs, which is basically it's a song that it's a rap. You can play it just to wake up in the morning. It tells you literally, wake up, it's time to start up, the day is gonna be cool, it's gonna be awesome, you're gonna things like that. And then typical coffee, breakfast, where I'm doing that. Yeah. This is going to sound a fucking cliche, but I like very much one particular speech of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, yes. What are you more hungry for? You know, and he's talking about his dreams and blah blah. That or Sis, and then I just play it and just I put a podcast with the news after that. But
hey, why are you depressing yourself with the news? You do so well, and then you listen to the news.
Yeah, well, but it's not any news. It's just it's a podcast, so it's like it's not
okay.
A podcast about history, actuality, but it's not normal news. Let's just say.
I was going to say, don't listen to the normal news. You'll
no. This is completely. This is in iVox.
Lush. Okay, that sounds like a really good morning. That sounds like the perfect way to start your day, guys. Does anybody else do anything else or anything different? No. Cool. That's fine. Are there any more questions?
You, Amir, what you do?
I do similar things like you guys, and something that I aim to do as my routine is like literally wake up doing breathing techniques, because that's what it works for me. As I am a really active person, breathing chills me out and kind of like picture what I need to do, which is quite a lot every day. And then from there, taking about a liter of water in the first half an hour, and then stretching, and then from there cracking on. But that's literally me. But you know, different routines, as you know, on our calls is going to work different. But something that is really important to me as well is making sure that all the time I am in some way surrounding with positive people. And sometimes you don't need physical persons. Sometimes it might be, you know, making sure that all the followers that you're having or you're following, they are kind of like adding value to your life, because sometimes negativity is good because it's put you in a realistic place, but sometimes you need to be unrealistic with life. You know, why not? You cannot dream about it more. And that's kind of like something that you need to have a balance. And for a reason, I invite Kirsty as well, because she's a dreamer and we all have that dreamer on us. And sometimes that's what we need to be surrounded with a bit more. So that's part of my routine as well.
That's lush. Thank you for sharing. Is there anything else, guys, that you have any questions about or want to talk about?
I think so. Let's see. Well, Judah, maybe you can put also on the chat box if you think like your audio is not that great for any reason. If you are somewhere in the meantime that you are kind of like doing the group call today, Liz as well. I know that sometimes you like to ask a couple of questions. I don't know if you got really good connection, but if you don't have like the right now questions, you can just contact her as well, and then she will answer you so quickly, faster than me sometimes.
You know my schedule.
She answered really quick. Sometimes it's me taking a bit more time, but
Literally, you take
she's really good.
forever.
But yes, guys. So the first thing that I want you to do as well is like follow her on Instagram. She got really good stuff, and she's, as I told you, she's the proof that you can do whatever you like. Okay, you can do many things, and that's really important as well. You don't need to be on just one fix thing. You can do many things because that's what we all have. But that's the thing. And remember, apart from that, let me know what is the topics that you want to learn more about, so I can try to bring different type of guests, or we can invite as well Kirsty, because she got different topics as well that we can talk about maybe in the future. But that's all. We need to wrap up as well, because this is a recorded call, so the other guys as well can have it like, the juicy part as you. Then Daniel is following you already.
Thank you. And like I said, if you have any